Good evening, dear subscribers and whoever else might be listening. I'm back from the dead, yay. You will probably be asking yourself where the hell I've been. Well, as I told you in the last video, there were some very busy times coming up for me, and I tried to make videos in advance so that there wouldn't be a gap in videos. A gap which now has occurred. That is due to the fact that while I was trying to record these videos in advance, my recording program for some reason broke in some way. I still don't know what the flaw was, but I had to reinstall it, and that obviously took some time. And as soon as I was done with that and I was beginning to make new videos, a cold kicked in and I got a sore throat, and especially with a reading video which was anticipated by some of you, and some of you asked for it, and I was working on that at the time, especially for something like that where it's heavily based on audio. That's just a no-go. You can't record with a sore throat. So that threw me back, and then those busy times that I was talking about arrived, and yeah, so I couldn't do any videos during that time, and that's where the gap came from. I'm really sorry, because I also was like, somebody asked for the next reading, and I also answered like, yeah, it's going to be on Thursday and at that time, and because I thought it would, but then all of that kicked in, and yeah, so I do apologize. I'm very sorry. For those of you who maybe aren't fans of this reading series, there will also be different videos coming out in the next days, and then again on a regular basis, I hope, if nothing happens. So, this has been quite a lot of talking again, but I think now we should proceed to the actual reading. Last time we read The Cabin in the Woods, and I was a little, well, taken by surprise by the fact that it said Volume 2 there, and I didn't know that it actually was Volume 2, and I didn't know what the prequel of this was, but I found out. Apparently it's The Woodcutter's Wife, and I have found the book, so I guess that's what we will be reading today. Yeah, so I think everything important has been said, and the reading can begin. Where is it? There, The Woodcutter's Wife. The Woodcutter's Wife, Volume 1, as told by Mogan, son of Molag. Legends tell. Very good start. Let's try that again. Legend tells of a woodcutter who built a shack deep within the pine forest. There he hoped to live in peace with his family. The woodcutter's family lived well for a time, but without warning, the weather turned bitterly cold and spoiled the harvest. Before long, with their meager supply of food all but gone, the family was starving. Late one snowy night, a traveler knocked on the cabin door, seeking shelter from the biting cold. Always generous of heart, the woodcutter welcomed the stranger into his home, apologizing that he had no food to offer. With a smile, the traveler cast off his cloak to reveal the garments of a mage. As the woodcutter and his family looked on, the mysterious visitor reached into his satchel and withdrew a scroll tied with a silver ribbon. No sooner had the wizard unfurled the scroll and read the words aloud, when a great feast appeared from out of thin air. That night, nobody in the woodcutter's cabin went hungry. Day by day, the snow piled up. Every night, the mage produced another scroll from his bag and read the words, each time summoning a new feast. On the 5th night, the woodcutter's wife awoke her husband to confess her mistrust of their magical guest. Surely, she argued, there was some price to pay for the magical feasts that everybody enjoyed night after night. The woodcutter would have none of it. After nearly dying from the lack of food, his family was eating well. The divines had sent them a gift, he explained, and it was foolish to question their wisdom. But the woodcutter's wife would not be persuaded. Every night she grew more fearful and more desperate. She was certain that the family had entered into a devil's bargain, and the time would soon come when the mage would ask for something unspeakable in return for his gifts. While everyone in the cabin slept, the woodcutter's wife snuck out of bed and took her husband's axe in hand. She crept into the traveler's room and with one swing lopped off his head. Suddenly the wizard's disembodied head awoke, his eyes opened wide, and when he beheld his maimed body, he let forth a terrible cry. Awakened by the horrified scream, the woodcutter and his children rushed into the room and gasped at the terrible sight of the decapitated mage. With his last gasp of breath, the traveler laid a fearful curse on the woodcutter's wife. After her mortal death, she was damned to rise once again and walk the woods, alone only to burn at the rising of the sun. To this day, those who walk the pine forest late at night tell tales of a weeping woman glimpsed between the trees. She carries a bloody axe, the stories say, and is terrifying to behold. So actually a very short story this time, and I very strongly believe that this is the prequel to the book that we read last time, because the encounter of the soldier was definitely with this ghost of the woodcutter's wife, and the cabin that he slept in, the cabin in the woods, is probably what is left of the house that the woodcutter's family lived in ages ago, probably. So yeah, this was fun. Kind of a short video this time, as the story isn't as long this time. I'll link the first part of the reading on screen somewhere, and also as soon as I have done that, the next part of the reading also, or maybe a different video, we'll see about that. If you haven't done so already, please consider giving this video a thumbs up, as it really helps me out a lot, since I only have a very small audience. If you like this video, if you like Skyrim and want to see more of these reading videos and also other videos about Skyrim and also other video game series like Assassin's Creed, maybe Watch Dogs, something like that, if you want to see something like that on a regular basis, then think about subscribing to the channel. This has been all from me for now, and I hope